Hi, Captain Clapton. Hope you're good. Rather than writing a long email, I decided to make a quick video showing you how to practice V1 cut with the 737. So I just loaded here the aircraft in Ibiza on runway 24. This is Lima Echo India Bravo. I loaded it in Ibiza because I have a training scenario ready for that, where you can get V1 cuts. Basically, you can get failures at or below V1. So basically, this is like takeoff training, whether you have to stop or continue. This is what we try to train with that scenario. So first, what I've done here, I have prepared my cockpit for the departure. Everything is set. And the first thing I will do is take a snapshot, and I will show you how you can program your own failure. So you take FSiPanel, you have programmed everything, you make sure you're in Ibiza runway 24 or any place you want to be. And then I will just take a snapshot and I will put it like my V1 cut, for example, and save the snapshot. So that's the thing to do, so that you can repeat your training over and over without having to reprogram FMC, cockpit, speeds, and takeoff performance. So once this is done, you will get a confirmation on the screen that the snapshot has been saved and you are good to go. So snapshot saved, okay, and my cockpit, nothing has changed right there. And now I can program my V1 cut. So how do we do that? Here I have V1, which is 141. So let's say you would like to have an engine failure at V1 plus 10. So you just go here to failures. Let's go for the engine, 70. And let's choose, if you choose a flame out and we are doing the takeoff and we have the continuous ignition, then you will just see a little drop in N1 and then immediately back to full thrust. So that's not the one you want to use. Just use a severe damage, for example. So let's go for engine number 2, severe damage. And now I can choose what trigger I want. So we can use indicated airspeed. We can use altitude. We can use altitude MSL or altitude AGL. Flap lever, whenever you put your flap lever in the trigger position, or when we go gear up. So if I want to use the speed, I will just go indicated airspeed. As you can see, we have a plus, it's accelerating, minus is decelerating. My actual speed is 5 knots because of the headwind. So let's say I want to have a failure at 155 knots. Or let's say 150. So just type 150. Okay, now I can see here, trigger when the aircraft accelerates through 150 knots. And I can just arm it. And now we can see engine 2 severe damage whenever IIS is above 150, equal or above 150 knots. So let's go in the sim and give it a shot. Okay, so I'm in the simulator and what I'm expecting is the failure at 150 knots. This is what we have programmed. So let's release the parking brake and let's go for takeoff. 40% N1. N1 toga, set takeoff thrust. And right now we're expecting the failures exactly at 150 knots, so which is above V1. And you can of course set the failure before, like 120 knots if you want to practice takeoff abort. So let's see what happened at 150 knots. 150 knots is coming just after V1. V1 rotate, see the speed, 150 knots, and I have the engine failure. I have the number positive rate gear up, and as you can see now, engine has failed, and I have to fly the one engine out. So this is how to set a failure manually. Okay, let's bring the aircraft back on ground, and I show you some other stuff. All right, so I just reloaded the sim here, back in Ibiza runway 24. As you can see, the cockpit, nothing is set. And we want to practice another failure. So now I will use the opportunity to reload the snapshot I've done before. So I'll take FSiPanel again, I restart it. And then I will make sure I'm in Ibiza runway 24. And I will load my snapshot V1 cut that we created together. Select move aircraft. Go back in the sim. And within a few seconds, you will be ready to depart. So you can see everything is done for you. Here we have the routing, we have the speed, everything is set. The weight is set. We have the fuel as we decided before. The QNH or altimeter setting is set. And within, let's say, 30 seconds, you will get the information that you're ready to depart. So here, aircraft ready, that's it. You have control. And now the only thing I have to do is program my failure. So if, for example, I want to create something else now, I can go to failures. And let's say we would like to have an engine failure again. And let's see this time an engine fire. So fire will not be under, will be under 262, I think. Yeah, fire protection. Not fire protection. It's fire, 26. Let's put an engine to fire. If you do that, you will only have a fire, which is not an engine. The engine will not fail, basically. It will be on fire, but it will still turning. So let's put engine to fire, and let's try something here interesting. We are going to put the engine fire indication at 100 feet, AGL, so radio altimeter. Now we have the engine to fire at 100 feet AGL, and we're gonna add the failure. So we go to engine this time, and we're gonna put the engine to severe damage, and let's put it that way whenever we put the gear lever to up. So now what I'm expecting is to get an engine fire whenever I go above 100 feet. Then I would bring the gear up and my engine will fail. So this is the kind of scenario you can program. So let's give it a shot and see what happens. So we go back in the sim and let's go for takeoff. Here we go, 40%, and one toga, set takeoff thrust. $80 knots, throttle hold. So 100 feet AGL, we should get the engine fire indication. And when I bring the gear up, it will fail. Rotate, okay. Now I just delay the gear, that's voluntary. Okay, delay the gear, 100 feet. Now we're gonna have the engine fire. Cancel the indication. And now I bring the gear up and look at my engine. Gear is going up. We have engine number 2, failed. And that's it. So this is now how you can plan your own scenarios. And now, of course, you don't have ATC. So let me show you the third options that you can use is the training scenario V1 cut, which I've made in Ibiza. So let's bring the aircraft again on ground and see what we can do. All right, we are back in Ibiza runway 24, ready to fly. And again, nothing on my 737. I have to prepare everything myself. So for that, I'm going to use my training scenario this time. So I start FSiPanel. The training scenario has already been installed. So I just go to training scenario, make sure you're in Ibiza runway 24, and you will find the takeoff training in Ibiza and start the training. What happens when you do that? You get your desired level of failures. So if you want to practice engine failures or severe hydraulic or big issues with the electric, go severe. If you want to just have a light failure, you can select light. You can select both, and then you don't know whether it's going to be light, moderate, or severe. If you do just like that, it's going to be severe. If you do like that, it's going to be light or moderate. Let's say we want only severe for that training. And I just have to validate. When I do that, then FSiPanel is about to take the voices that we need for the ATC. We'll program the FMC for us, all the speeds, and we will get this time a training scenario. So make sure you fly the SID. On that scenario, we need to fly the SID. You cannot just fly runway heading. So make sure you turn right here, even 15 degrees bank, and follow the SID. Then you will get further ATC instructions to join the hold. And whenever you're ready, you will be given vectors for the ILS-24 to come back. So this is important to fly the SID. Expect takeoff clearance shortly, just acknowledge. And now with this training scenario, we don't know whether the failure will occur before V1 or after V1. So this is either to practice takeoff abort or V1 cut or another failure just after V1. So we don't know what we will get. So the first thing you want to do is wait for the takeoff clearance. That should come after around 30 seconds. And then just go for your takeoff and see what happens.
FSiPanel 001, runway 24, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 24, cleared takeoff, FSI 001. Okay, we are cleared for takeoff, so I will release the brake. And let's go and see what happens. So V1 is 141, I think. Yeah, so we'll see whether we get airborne if we have to stop the takeoff. And one toga set takeoff thrust. Eighty knots. Checked throttle hold. Rotate. Gear up. Engine 2 fail. Okay, as you can see now I got an engine failure. So this is what we get. An ATC will come to us telling us what to do. So basically we follow the SID. We have to do the checklist work and then we'll get back for an ILS runway 24 whenever everything is set. So this is to show you what you can do with FSiPanel. Just some basic step how to program failures at or below V1 using the training scenario, or up to you whether you want to set it up with different trigger. Could be flaps, gear, speeds, whatever you want. All right, we are back again in Ibiza for a last try, this time to see if we can get reject maybe. So I'm ready to go. I got my takeoff clearance. Let's try the takeoff. Stabilize, and one toga set takeoff thrust. Thrust set. Checked throttle hold. Stop. Speed brake up, reverses normal. 60 knots out of reverse. And parking brake set. Advise ATC, please. So what we got here, I lost the IRS on my side. So this could have happened after takeoff. Luckily, it happened just 130 knots, I think. So here we go. So I will do all the checklist required here. There is not much to do on ground here. We just monitor brake temperature, vacate the runway, advise the passengers and the ATC. And that's about it. So this is how you can basically train with FSiPanel. Either you program your failures yourself and you know exactly what's going to happen, or you can just use that scenario and get surprised. Sometimes if you have like an hydraulic leak, you might fly for you might fly for a few minutes until finally you get into the trouble. So do not give up. If you get airborne and you have the feeling nothing is happening, maybe it's because something is cooking. So check your system and everything, and you will see that probably something is happening. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay safe. And if you have any question or comment, please drop it in the section down below. And if you didn't subscribe yet to the channel, please do it. Thank you and stay safe. Bye-bye.